Welcome to the Pittsburgh Dish. I'm your host, Doug Heilman. What happens when a pandemic pivot becomes the best decision ever? This week, we learn the story of Best Ever Granola. Have a craving for buffalo chicken? Ken of Point State Fork has a go-to place. And spoiler, we're talking pizza. And later in the show, do you have a recipe that does double duty? Chef Ken shares his take on Hainanese chicken and rice, a great dish that also yields a flavorful soup to sip throughout the week. All that ahead. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for coming over and for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Would you introduce yourself to our listeners and what you have going on right now in the world of food?
For sure. My name is Sarah Kaminsky. I am the founder of Best Ever Granola. We craft small batch gluten-free vegan granola. And what sets us apart is our low sugar content. We sweeten only with pure Pennsylvania maple syrup. So we partner with Paul Family Farms out of Gailton, PA.
Oh.
And that's really what sets our product apart and makes us unique.
Paul Family Farms is harvesting the maple syrup.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to check them out too.
Yes. Yeah.
I think what I've gleaned from your website is ingredients are really important to you. Is that fair to say?
300%. Ingredients are at the core of what we do.
Right.
And, we'll never sacrifice, those morals to, make an extra buck. For me, when I learned about really our food system 10 years ago, has been the core of the way that I eat and shop. And so whenever it came to creating a product, I took the same approach.
Yeah. I think, maybe some folks think, oh, granola is granola and they've bought some store brand or whatever. But if someone dives into your product, there's a lot of intention. And I want to add, beyond the health benefits or the sustainability, just your mentioning of using the other family farm for the maple syrup, it goes to show the connectedness of what a small business can do for other families and other small businesses.
Totally.
Yeah. If folks are not familiar with Best Ever Granola right now, can you just give us sort of an overview of maybe the product line or what some of your best sellers are or what you're working on right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we obviously specialize in granola. That's what we do, and we do it really well. And so we've really stayed in this niche space of granola and just doing it well. We started with our original. It is just a classic sort of toasted coconut with a bite of salt. Someone on my team, Blakely, always says it's like the perfect sweet and salty bite because we use a coarse salt. So you get this almost experience of like a chocolate covered caramel that has like that coarse salt. So you sort of get this bite of salt every now and again, kind of elevates it. And we use thick toasted coconut chips, which
sounds delicious.
Just epic, yeah.
It's sort of bordering a little savory for me with those flakes and the salt. I love that sweet and salty kind of combo.
Totally. Yeah, so we started with just that recipe at the end of 2020, and we've expanded the product line now we'll be launching our 9th flavor this year.
Wow.
So we have 2 core offerings throughout the year. We do a dark chocolate chia, and that one is probably my favorite for sure. But our original is our best seller. And then we offer seasonal flavors throughout the year. Okay. And for those seasonals, we really try to lean into local, smaller partners.
Yeah.
For fresh herbs. We use like a locally roasted coffee for our chocolate espresso and just try to get creative with partnerships in that way.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that. We should also say, you mentioned 2020, your business started sort of as a pandemic-related motivation. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. It was a pandemic pivot. So I was doing health coaching and consulting. That was going really well. COVID hit and nobody was investing in health coaching and consulting.
Yeah.
So my business tanked. And, over the course of that spring of 2020, you're kind of scrambling, thinking like, what's my next step going to be here? And over the course of my health coaching, I had developed hundreds of plant-based recipes that I used to support my client base. Our original granola was one of those recipes. And I looked at my husband that summer and was like, what if we packaged up that original granola recipe and just offered it? My husband co-founded Three Rivers Outdoor Company in Regent Square. So at the time we had that retail outlet, I'm like, we can sell it at the shop. We can, I have this little bit of an online presence and we'll just list it online and see what happens.
Yes.
So we ran some numbers and it made sense. And so we just sort of put it out there that fall.
You had never been selling this product or a food product before that?
No.
Tell us a little bit more about the journey of getting this started. Like, how do you learn? How can we do this? Where can we sell it? What kind of licenses do I need? How did that work out for you?
Well, I started my home kitchen. And so, not knowing sort of what direction I was going to take in terms of, if I'm being completely honest, I had no aspiration to wholesale this product.
Yes.
I mean, we built that in from the beginning, of our margin, but that was just because my husband had a buying background and he knew you need to build this in just in case this is something that you ever decide to do.
So you thought this was just a cottage. I might sell it to some friends, neighbors, past clients.
Totally.
That was it.
Yep. I'm going to, list it online. We're going to sell it in the shop, at Three Rivers Outdoor Company, which is, I guess, where that wholesale margin would have been built in initially.
Yeah.
But it turned out that nobody was doing a craft, granola. And a specialty granola in Pittsburgh. People were really excited about it. And, between November of 2020 and the end of the year, we had 10 wholesale partners. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
I quickly realized we're growing out of this home kitchen much faster than I thought. And so in January, I was, scouring Pittsburgh for a shared commercial kitchen space that we could move our production into. And we moved out of my home kitchen into a shared commercial kitchen space in Squirrel Hill in February of 21.
Wow. Are you still there?
We were there until March of last year. And then we just moved into our own facility.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, having your hours or whatever space you need and leaving it set up probably the way you want all the time.
Yes.
Some advantages.
For sure.
We do have a lot of nice shared kitchens in the area. So
we do. Yeah. I think there's an opportunity there for sure in terms of being able to build out.
Right. I've talked to some other folks and it's a great place to start, but it may not be sustainable for what you want to do. And also, the flexibility of how much it costs and what time I get and what equipment is there. So sometimes it just leads the folks to their own place eventually.
Yeah, but I think it really gave us the opportunity. I mean, starting in the home kitchen under the cottage food law. And then whenever we moved to the shared commercial kitchen space, then that involved, licensing through Allegheny County. So that basically with every step that you take, you just add an additional layer of licensing essentially.
Okay. Right.
But because we were, selling retail as well through wholesale outlets and retail partners, you just have more eyeballs on your product.
Yes.
And so you have to make sure you check all the boxes.
Yeah. Cross the T's, dot the
Totally.
I's. Were there any other, it sounds like your husband was helpful in, thinking through some of the steps with you. Were there any other mentors or partners or moments that have also given you a better direction on, oh, I should do that, or let's pivot a little bit to this?
So I think partnering with Paul Family Farms out of, right from the very beginning was really powerful in the sense that I had a built-in mentor just through that partner. Travis has become a great friend, and any question that I have, as we continue to grow and we're constantly, just sharing ideas and, hey, have you tried this or have you tried that? Or, hey, who do you use for X, Y, or Z? So he has been really instrumental in terms of, a mentor from the very beginning.
How did you guys meet?
At the farmer's market.
Really?
Yeah, the Bloomfield Farmer's Market.
Awesome.
Yeah. We would shop the Saturday Bloomfield Market every so often. And, that original recipe that I had on my blog, we always used maple syrup. And I don't know that I was ever particular about what type of maple syrup I bought, aside from it just being local,
Yeah.
And I saw that he had gallons. And I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to scale this recipe, I'm going to need more than, this small portion of it. And so I'm going to need one of those gallons. And so I stopped at their tent one day and said like, hey, like I'm thinking about making this granola. He's like, Sarah, I can't tell you how many people have come up to us and said, hey, I'm thinking about making this product. You know, everybody always comes up with ideas. He's like, never in a million years did I think, you know, now we have, you know, pallets of, you know, gallons shipped to us. But
wow.
So, you know, I just kept showing up.
I love that. Well, I think also not only are you supporting each other and you're supporting local, I think it gives your granola a niche that you're using these local products and that you can tell that story of that other farm that's helping you.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it is very cool. I think generally, you know, we talked a little bit about just the food community in Pittsburgh is really unique and that it's just very uplifting. You know, coming out of the coaching world, it was like, you know, you asked anybody a question and they're like, oh yeah, that's on my course. Here's the link for that. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. We're much more giving in the food community to help you move forward. It's more, you know, raise the ship, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Are there any other partners like Paul Family Farm locally that you like to use throughout the year or partner with?
So in our recipes, we've partnered with, Ohio Pile Coffee Roasters. They do they roast the espresso for our chocolate espresso.
It sounds so good, by the way.
It is. We have it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send it back.
Oh,
It's a really good one. We partnered with Freedom Farms for fresh thyme. We did a lemon blueberry thyme.
They're up Route 8 in Butler. They've got their own market.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other stuff. You can have like weddings and corn mazes and stuff up there.
Yeah, they do a ton of incredible events. And they have Grist House Brewery attached to, you know, their sort of restaurant. And then they also have the farm market.
This is the King family.
It is. Yeah, they're great people. And they're doing really important work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's such a good news story. The other thing that I think we should talk about too for listeners, it's not just your granola product. If people go to your website, you have a bunch of recipes that you've developed probably over the years since your coaching days that use the granola, you know, not just straight away, but in a lot of different ways. Can you share with us a few maybe of your favorites or the most popular ones?
Yeah, we always say, you know, here are some creative ways to enjoy our products whenever you're not eating them by the handful, because it is really easy to just, you know, eat it right out of the bag. But I'm trying to think of some of my favorites. We did a baked brie with our vanilla lavender and local honey.
That sounds great.
It's really good. Vanilla lavender is going to come back this spring. So keep your eyes open for that one.
That's good. We're recording at the end of February, so we're right around the bend for this.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That is a flavor that we're asked about year round. We did over the holidays, we do a chocolate almond peppermint. We made energy balls. So have you ever made energy balls that you roll with like the nut butter?
Yeah, you need some kind of nut butter to keep it all together. But otherwise, it's like a bonbon.
It is. Yeah. Kind of like it was like a crunchy truffle. And we made them like really cute with sprinkles for, you know, holiday baking season.
I imagine with any of your varieties or flavors, you could do this and they'd be a great carry-on or pack in the kids' lunch or, I don't know, take post-workout, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we're always looking for creative ways. I'm really lucky to have, you know, 2 people on my team come with a culinary background. So, you know, they're always like, we should try this. We should try this. And, you know, we're always, the 3 of us together are always working and thinking about, you know, different ways to, wow, we should try it with this. Wow, we should try it with this. And just different applications and creative ways to enjoy granola that you maybe wouldn't have been thinking of otherwise.
Right. I also love, and can we just take a moment to say you have a team, which is super important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild, honestly, because I think about it. I'm so grateful, but it's wild to think, like I said, I started in my like home 3-rack oven, you know, and I would just tell my husband, like, you got to get the kids out of the house. I'm baking today. And truly, whenever we first moved to the shared commercial kitchen space, it was it was me. I had my friend Kim that would come. We were baking initially like once a month, and we would just do a big batch bake. My husband had the shop over in Regent Square. And so he would come in the mornings before he had to open the shop, and he would help us for as long as he could. And then he would go open the shop. And, you know, we were just, my friend Kim and I, just baking. And when we started, and truly up until this time last year, we were doing everything in an 8-hour window of time. So we were baking, cooling, packing, everything would go out finished in cases, ready for retail, like in one day. So it's been great to be able to not hustle like that.
That sounds like high stress. Grinding granola is not like where I want to be. And like, oh my gosh, by like 7 p.m. we have to have this packed.
Yeah. It was sometimes a little high stress. A lot of us too have kids. So it's like, I got to get home to just get my kids. So it was like, we had a hard stopping point where it was like, all right, this is just where we're going to stop for today. And if we don't get it done, then we'll just pick back up here. It's like, everything's got to load out where we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you have at least 2 folks on the team now?
So I have a team of 4.
4?
Yes.
Okay.
We operate, we're baking in the space 2 days a week. Our deliveries go out one of those days. And then we sort of have like a half day recoup day where we're just like, doing a deep clean and, finishing up any loose ends throughout the week. So we're in a place right now where in the space that we're in, we have a lot of time to build in as we continue to grow where we didn't have that before.
Yeah. Not that same kind of stress of we've got to get it all done in one day.
Right, exactly.
So good. And congratulations again, from something that started in your home kitchen in 2020, you have 4 employees or folks on the team, however you like to describe it, within like just over 5 years. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So good.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't do what I do without them.
We should let listeners know, I found this on your website. Of course, you can order it through the website, and we'll talk about that later. But you are in over like 100 retailers now?
Yeah, so we're partnered with just over 100 retailers in 10 states.
Right, not just Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so locally, we're in Pittsburgh Market District locations. There are 7 stores and lots of independents.
A lot of independents.
Yeah.
What I was appreciating looking at like where to buy on your website, I was finding all of these small independent retailers and I'm like making notes like, oh, I need to go there. I've never heard of this place. And some of them are a little further out of the region, which was also interesting to me as well. So if you want to shop a small independent store or grocer, take a look at the website and then make like a day trip or something.
Yeah, that's a really great idea.
Yeah. So I think you've done just this tremendous business, again, for other businesses. And that connectedness is something that I think, we all appreciate. We often don't understand how much small business gives back to the communities they're in and often beyond.
Yeah, I think, entrepreneurship is wild because I think when you really think about it, it's like just a series of people believing in you.
Yeah, that's right.
And it like makes me emotional thinking about it. But it's truly just like one person believing in you enough to say yes, It's like, it was Paul Family Farm saying, yes, I'll, wholesale my syrup to you. It was, that first retailer saying, yes, I'll carry your product. And it's just a series of those yeses and series of people believing in you, which is really magical.
I do think it's a story of you see the good in people when you're trying to do something good as well. You bring it out.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
Yes. Hi, this is Sarah Kaminsky with Best Ever Granola, and you're listening to The Pittsburgh Dish.
Sarah, I would love to pivot a little bit. We did mention that you were doing this health coaching before the business. I'd love to know a little bit more about your background and where did you grow up?
So I'm Pittsburgh.
You are?
Yeah, Pittsburgh, born and raised. I grew up in Fox Chapel area, graduated high school from Fox Chapel area high school, went to West Virginia University, where I studied child development. I moved to Colorado for a window of time where I actually met my now husband, but that's sort of a boomerang story. And moving back to Pittsburgh after Colorado, went to Carleton University for my master's in education. And I actually taught first and second grade for 7 years.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I have my formal education is in education.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did that until 2015. So when our first son was born in 2014, I just really struggled, the commute and working a 40-hour week out of the house.
Right.
And thought like, wow, this just isn't it.
You wanted something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I started health coaching and doing that on the nights and weekends. And I did all of that online. offering group coaching. And I did that for a year and a half until I built it to the point that I could leave teaching.
And where did health and wellness coaching come from? Was this something that was always important to you?
So I watched Food Inc. And that really opened my eyes to our food system.
Yeah.
That was like in my mid-20s, I watched that. And that is sort of what planted the seed, right? Like just understanding our food system and wanting to educate people around, just incorporating more. For me, it was always incorporating more plant foods. Like how can you incorporate more plant foods into your life? And just how many benefits there are to that for the environment and for your body and, this sort of ripple effect of.
And you're a mom now with kids. So all of this is important to you.
Yeah.
And if our listeners don't know, Food Inc. was a program that revealed the industrialization, sort of the not so great parts of our food system, and really helped educate a lot of folks on, how could we probably do a little better, even just personally.
Yeah. And I think for me, it was like right in my face, like, wow, there's a major disconnect. Like we have no idea what we're eating.
Right.
And so having just opened my eyes to that is, I think, what inspired me to just start learning as much as I could about, how can I just be more intentional about the way that I eat and the way that I shop and the way that I cook, and then teaching that to others.
Yeah. Well, you're a natural teacher.
Yeah, thanks.
You have all that. So what was food life like as a youngster growing up? I mean, were you cooking at an earlier age? Would you ever have dreamed that you'd have a food business now?
No, never. It's wild to say, I open, people are like, oh, what do you do for work? And I'm like, I own a granola company. And they're like, wow, that's cool. Yeah. And I, sometimes I think the same thing to myself. Like, wow, I can't believe I have a product that's, stocked in grocery store shelves. It's just wild.
It is.
No, I don't have a lot of food memories from childhood per se.
Yeah.
I remember making pancakes with my grandmother.
Yeah.
But that's, really it. I don't have a lot of big core memories from my childhood. Like I said, it wasn't until my mid-20s that I sort of had that pivot point and was like, wow. And that's something that I'm trying to, provide for my kids.
Right.
Just to be aware of the food that they eat and what it does for the environment and their bodies, and that it doesn't need to be perfect, but just to understand.
Right. Well, I think I've seen on your Instagram too. I mean, this has crept into your own lifestyle. I saw you making, I think it was snack boxes for the kids or things. Are there a few mom tricks or maneuvers you do now to make sure that they're eating a little better than they kind of stay on point with the theme of what you're doing with the granola?
Yeah. I just want them to be, I don't gatekeep anything from them.
Okay, good.
I say this is what's in that. Would you like to eat it?
Okay. They won't rebel someday and be a total chicken nugget and ranch dressing kid.
And if they are, then it's okay. I think what I'm trying to teach them is how does your body feel when you eat certain foods?
Yes. That's so important. I think I didn't learn that till I was an adult. I'm like, oh, I don't really feel great after I've had this big, heavy something, but I feel really good after I've had my morning oatmeal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, my goal, I guess, is really just to teach them, how does your body feel after you eat certain foods? And, do you want to eat more foods that give you energy or more foods that deplete your energy, as opposed to healthy and unhealthy? I guess this is me, an 80s, 90s kid who's, reformed diet culture.
Yeah.
I think it's just important that, for me at least, to not say you have to have something healthy. It's why don't we just choose something else that's going to give you more energy? So our fruit bowl's always open, and I don't know, I try to just let them make empowered choices with the information that we give them.
I love that. I think that's so important, that you're not demonizing one food over the other, but you're actually giving them that awareness. You're sort of pointing them toward well, how do you feel after that? How do you feel right now? And sort of learning the impacts of some of the not so great food that's out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Great mom lesson.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do this? Let's take it forward. You have this business going right now. It looks amazing. Are there any events or goals or things you want to be doing? What's ahead?
So we lightly launched at the end of this last year, 2025. We lightly launched a line of roasted almonds.
Ah.
So those are out. and they're available. We're finishing the sort of final packaging design for those now. So those will be sort of more formally launched this year.
You
so
did a soft launch.
We did, yeah. And so they're out, and we're getting feedback about them. We're really excited about them. Sweetened with just a little tiny bit of maple syrup and that bite of salt that we talked about. Roasted without any seed oils. So we're just tossing a little bit of organic cold pressed coconut oil, and then we roast them in-house. So they're really good. We're excited to share those. Just really good, nourishing snack option right out of the bag.
Yes.
And we've been sharing some creative ways to enjoy those as well, with different desserts and like on salads with roasted beets and goat cheese. And
put a pile on my next charcuterie board.
Yes.
Please. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure that that's tougher to source from a local. You can't do everything locally, but do you have some other suppliers that you trust with this stuff, or you're trying to go organic or anything like that?
So we're a dedicated gluten-free facility. Everything that we do is going to be dedicated gluten-free. It's a non-negotiable for us to source organic gluten-free rolled oats. We go through a volume of oats at this point.
So much, I'm sure.
But like you said, we source those they actually come from Canada.
Okay.
And that same supplier actually sources a lot of our seeds.
Okay.
So we use like sesame, pepita, pumpkin seeds, and did I say sunflower?
No.
Sunflowers, yeah. So seeds, and then almond slices, and then those thick cut coconut chips. We do work with Steel City Salt Company here in Pittsburgh. He does like the perfect coarseness of salt that we like.
Yes. They're over in Millvale. They're great.
Yes. Yeah. John and Candy are really incredible. We've worked with them since the very beginning. So they help us with our salt needs. And, like I said, with some of those seasonal flavors, we, look to find local and regional partners where we can and where it makes sense.
Is there anything else happening?
No, we're really just kind of gearing up for our event season. So we don't I have three young kids. So I'm in a season of my life where, every weekly farmer's market is just an overcommitment for me. So we've sort of phased out of farmers markets, and we instead just sort of do pop-ups throughout the year. We do Greensburg night markets, Squirrel Hill night markets, everything that I Made It does. They put on some really incredible community events throughout, the summer and holiday months. So we're kind of gearing up for that. Our event season is April through the end of the year. So we're in our quiet months right now. And, we've gotten smarter about using this time and really like honing in on, like I said, we're working on the packaging design right now. We do all of our recipe development. We do have one more new flavor coming out this fall.
Okay.
I can't give any details.
That's all right. We'll have to search it out.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful website and great photography. So whoever's doing that, kudos.
Oh, thank you. I designed the website, but Caitlin Girdwood can take credit for all the photography. She's really great at what she does.
I think I know her. Does she make jam as well?
She does. Yeah. Maple Street Jam.
We've met.
Yeah. She's a great human.
Absolutely. All right, Sarah, it's been so great to talk with you and learn about your products. I think we should do this for our listeners. Can you remind us where people can find and follow you, your website, your social handles? And I also know they can purchase from the website, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're bestevergranola.com, at bestevergranola on all social platforms. You can, of course, purchase our products online, but also a retailer near you. And that list is on our website and almost always up to date as well.
It's worth exploring also just to learn all these other small local shops. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love your day trip idea. So fun.
One more thing I wanted to ask, I saw on the website. I didn't know much about the Good Food Foundation, and you got an award.
Yeah, so we are a recipient of a Good Food Award. The Good Food Foundation really is built on 3 pillars. It's sustainability, ingredient sourcing, and epic taste. So it's essentially having a product that tastes incredible without sacrificing their morals, a little bit like we talked about earlier. So we feel really proud to have earned that for our dark chocolate chia. It's a nationally recognized award. So we actually went out. I was 7 months pregnant when I went out to receive that award on stage in San Francisco a couple years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a very cool honor.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
I always like to end our interviews with a customary question. The name of the show is The Pittsburgh Dish. What's the best dish you've had to eat this past week?
So we're in a season, like I said, with 3 young kids. So we do a lot of cooking at home right now. What I'm loving right now is a Thai peanut chopped salad that I've been eating for lunch over and over again. We actually use a lot of the core ingredients for the dressing that we're using in our peanut butter crunch granola right now.
Oh.
And now that I'm saying that, I feel like the peanut butter crunch granola would be a really good topper on that salad.
Yeah, yes.
So I don't know what I'm doing with my life because I should be putting that on top of the salad.
You're having ideas right now. So it's good.
Yeah. So it's just purple cabbage and greens and chopped up bell peppers, some green onions, and then some chopped peanuts and edamame, and then tossed in this sort of spicy Thai peanut dressing. It's so good. I've been eating it on repeat for 2 weeks.
So good.
Yeah.
Best bite. More than just this week, every day.
Yeah. And now that I'm saying it, I think we're going to publish that on the website and top it with the granola.
I think that needs to be a recipe.
Yeah,
on the
ASAP.
website. Yeah. Sarah Kaminsky of Best Ever Granola, thank you so much. And thanks for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
Up next, have a craving for buffalo chicken? Ken of Point State Fork takes us to her go-to spot. Ken, I always love what you're posting on your Instagram. You're always getting me inspired and wanting to go out to places. I was thinking this week, if you're craving something like, I don't know, chicken wings or buffalo chicken, where do you go?
So there is a place that I always go to for buffalo chicken. And like whenever anyone comes out of town, I bring them. And it's Spak's.
So wait, Spak's Brothers Pizza.
Yes.
And you're getting the buffalo chicken pizza at Spak's?
Yes, the buffalo chicken pizza.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It's really good. So I am a big buffalo chicken person because like in New York, I grew up in New York. So like that is like a big thing, especially like out on Long Island.
The home state too, by the way, they're going to own it, right?
Right. But yeah, no, buffalo chicken pizza at Spak's is so good. And they also do like a seitan version, which is equally as good. I actually really like their seitan. And I feel like sometimes seitan like can be like, it's not always great.
Yeah, sometimes it can fall flat. But to your point, my husband's vegetarian and he loves Spak's vegetarian and seitan pizza. So I'm right there with you.
And like their buffalo chicken pizza there, like they always like give you ranch with it. And like if you're getting the vegan version, they will also give you like vegan ranch. And the ranch really just makes it. It's just like is like the perfect combination. And their dough is so good.
It's so good. They've been doing it for years too. And we're talking about Spak Brothers. It's right along Penn Avenue in Garfield. In the summertime, you can hang out. Usually there's also maybe a food truck or 2 Fraser nearby. So it's just a lovely location.
Yeah, no, that's actually the move. Like you get your pizza and then you go to 2 Fraser for a drink
That's
and
right.
you just hang out.
Well, we're getting a twofer. And so hopefully as we get through some winter months while we're recording, we'll get over to Spak's, we'll get our pizza, we'll go to 2 Fraser, and maybe we can sit outside in the beer garden.
No, that's like the ideal like night. And also like I think Spak's has like pickle pizza too. So for all the Pittsburgh pickle fans.
Oh my gosh, you got to have it. I have never had anything else off the menu, but I think they have sandwiches, some other things. Have you had anybody order something other than the pizza?
So people love their vegan chicken nuggets.
Oh.
I don't know if they call it like vegan chicken wings, but people love their chicken nuggets too. You can get them in like different sauces. And like the hoagies people love because you can get them with the seitan too.
Oh, such a gem. All right. Spak's in Garfield. Ken, thanks so much for another great recommendation. Thanks for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Thank you for having me, Doug.
You can follow Ken on Instagram at Point State Fork. Now, from one Ken to another, we sit down at the table with Chef Ken of KCZ Cuisine to get a weeknight recipe that goes the distance. Let's have a listen. Chef, when you were here last, we talked about your incredible food that you're making for clients. You're so busy. People are after you. I was wondering if I'm falling on that wait list. Could you actually give me a recipe of yours that maybe I could make myself at home? Something that's flavorful, yet, Easy enough for a home cook?
Yeah, one of my favorite recipes to go to that I go to, again, it's simple, but you just kind of do the method and it comes out great. One of the things that I always go to for my own personal meal prep is a dish called Hainanese chicken rice.
Okay.
It's a Singaporean dish, basically a poached chicken, poached whole chicken.
Oh.
So you'll need a pretty big pot for this.
Okay.
If you're going to do it, but you take chicken stock and you simmer that for about 20 minutes with a decent amount of ginger and scallion. And then you take a whole chicken and you just dunk it in that water. You bring the pot up to a simmer and then you turn off the water and you cover the pot for about an hour.
Oh.
After an hour, you should have a probe thermometer and temp the chicken.
Right.
Deepest part of the breast and in the thigh as well. Make sure the breast comes up to about 160 or 165 and the thigh comes up to about 165. If the thigh is not getting cooked, you can always break down the chicken.
Yeah, like cut it.
Yeah, you can cut it
quarters or something. Yeah.
Cut the breast off and then just throw the thighs back in there. And the dark meat can simmer
for a while. Yeah,
but
it's very forgiving.
You want a very, very tender poach for the breast meat. Because
Okay.
you want it to be that really nice and tender, like succulent breast.
In that flavorful broth.
Yeah,
too.
in the flavorful broth, if you cook it low and slow, that ginger and scallion flavor will permeate into the meat.
Yes.
And then what you're going to do is after you break down that chicken, you take the broth and you cook rice. I like to use sushi rice because I like the texture of sushi rice.
Okay.
But you can cook any sort of rice. Cook the rice with the ginger scallion broth.
In the broth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you cook rice with the ginger scallion broth, and then you just eat it with some sweet Thai chili.
That's it.
That's it. Maybe some cucumber, maybe a little salad.
Yeah.
That's it. It's super, super simple. A little bit technique heavy, but it's
really
so good.
Yeah, it sounds delicious. And it sounds comforting. And we are recording during like chilly months of the year, but I think you could probably have this any time of year.
You can have this anytime. You can even have it cold.
That
the
sounds
chicken
great.
you can have cold. And then you got ginger scallion chicken soup to drink.
I love it. Chef Ken, thank you so much for this recipe. And thanks for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
You're welcome.
You can learn more about Chef Ken and his services on his website, kczcuisine.com. Do you have a recipe? Share it with us. Just go to our website at pittsburghdish.com and look for our Share a Recipe form. If you enjoyed the show, consider buying us a coffee for this episode or supporting the show monthly. You can find links to those options at the bottom of our show description. And if you want to follow my own food adventures, you can find me on social media at Doug Cooking. That's our show for this week. Thanks again to all of our guests and contributors, and to Kevin Selecki of Carnegie Accordion Company for providing the music to our show. We'll be back again next week with another fresh episode. Stay tuned.